Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020. Glad to have you guys here. Now, here's the thing, guys. We got a lot going on in the world. One of the things I'm watching is that what they claim to be a new variant of the virus, and so I'll tell you, yesterday they come all out with the news about in London. There's a new strain of the corona, and I paid big time attention to that. Then last night I was watching programs that come on there and said, well, where's the evidence? The programs basically said, if there's a new strain, where's the evidence? And so I watched that. I wanted to see what was up with that. And so I started to doubt about it. I had doubts enter into my mind. Well, is it or isn't it? What's going on with this? It started to enter into my mind. I was wondering about it. Anyway, let's turn on the charts right here and take a look. Now, here's the thing. In Australia, this is what I come across today. I come across this evidence here. It says in Australia they're confirming 2 new cases of the coronavirus strain. Now, how can they... This starts to make me think maybe it is real. Because how can they confirm? Because wouldn't it look exactly like the other coronavirus? How do they tell the difference? There must be some way they can tell the difference between the new strain and the old regular coronavirus. Maybe there's something they're not telling us, because I don't know. How would they tell the difference? If a person come in with coronavirus, how would they say, "Hey, you got the new strain"? How would they know? So that's got me wondering, because it says Australia confirms 2 cases of the new coronavirus strain. It says Sydney, Australia, confirmed on Monday it has detected 2 cases of the fast-spreading new coronavirus strain that has forced Britain to reverse plans to ease curbs over Christmas. The first confirmed case of the strain in the Asian Pacific region. Asia's most populous state on Sunday reported 6 new cases of the novel coronavirus. So they had 6 people come in with coronavirus. And people returning from overseas. And in quarantine, authorities said amongst them were 2 cases of the fast-spreading new strain. Somehow they can tell the difference. Now, there's something they're not telling us. How can they tell the difference? Because it says here very clearly that there was 6 new cases of the novel coronavirus, okay, and people returning from overseas. And then it says, and in quarantine, authorities said amongst them were 2 cases of the fast spreading. How can they tell the difference? There must be some way they can tell the difference. Does it have different symptoms? Or is there a difference in the blood tests or something? There's something to this. And we're not getting the whole story yet, I don't think. They should be more forthright and tell us how they can tell the difference between these 2. How they were able to pick 2 people out of the 6 people that were coming back that had coronavirus, and pick 2 people out that were the new fast-spreading strain. How do they know? That's what I'm wondering about this, You got to be a bit of a detective sometimes in some of this stuff, And there's another thing I want to talk about this morning. Volcano erupts in Hawaii's Big Island, draws crowds to the park, beautiful big volcano. Anyway, but listen, there's something I'm watching very carefully, and this is really important. Down in Antarctica, there's a big thick ice cap over the whole continent. Now, the ice around the edges of that continent, is already over open ocean. So if it melts, it's not a big deal, because it's already displacing the ocean, because it's sitting on the ocean, right? It's not such a big deal if it melts. But the ice that's up on the Antarctic continent, that's sitting on land, if it melts, it'll run down into the ocean, and the oceans will rise. Now, don't think that this is insignificant, because if all of the ice were to melt in Antarctica, the oceans could rise like 100 meters. Now, I know 100 meters doesn't sound like much, but you got to understand that the way civilization progresses is we always build near the coastlines and near low-lying areas because it's easiest to get food. So when people move in, settlers, they build their cities on all the coastal regions around where they can get food from the ocean, by fishing and everything. And that's how the cities get started. And then later they grow into big metropolises. But all around the world, the extra large cities are all in proximity, most of them, to the ocean, and they're low. Take cities like New Orleans. I think they're only like a couple inches above sea level. What about Venice? Cities, these are big, huge metropolises. And if the ocean even rises a couple meters, well, all those people will be displaced. Now, here's the thing, guys. We got a volcano. Directly, I guess they haven't known about it that long, right? But now they know about it. It's there. It's right underneath Antarctica. And it's the size of Yellowstone. It's a monster. Now, if that's not all, lately, there's been swarms of earthquakes around that volcano. That volcano's been causing earthquake swarms, indicating that maybe it's awakening. It's awakening, and it's directly underneath all that ice. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? So I'm keeping my eye on this story of the volcano in Antarctica. And of course, Antarctica is a very mysterious continent. Anyway, we're going to move on. We got lots to talk about here. Let's take a look at the silver price today. Silver price is falling. Now, that's exactly what I should be sarcastic and say, but this is ridiculous. It's already ridiculously cheap, considering what's happened with inflation over the years. It's already ridiculously cheap, and it's getting cheaper. And the thing is it's going to become something that if it keeps on going downwards in price and they keep keeping it cheap, in the end, these companies that make things are going to take a look at different things. Like they might say, well, we used to coat these locks with nickel, or they're a high-priced lock, and they'll say, well, silver's cheaper now. Let's put a silver coating on it. It's more prestigious, too, Companies will start to use it if the stays cheap and everything else goes up in price. All of a sudden, they're going to say, well, hey, it's the cheapest thing around. Silver and gold's the cheapest thing you can buy. Because inflation is going up around the price of gold and silver, and they're just keeping their foot right on top of it. They won't let it go up. They keep using these stupid SLV, GLD paper short contracts. They create billions of these paper short contracts everywhere, and the underlying metal is getting very tight in supply. So what we're getting is a separation between the paper price and the price you can actually buy the real metal for. And these are called premiums. The separation is called premium. And I can see what'll happen is if they can keep that price down in the spot price right here, what we're looking at, if they can keep it down low enough, the premium's going to completely separate from the spot price at a certain point where it's going to become ridiculous. It'd be like if you want a real ounce of silver, it's going to cost you like $300. And if you want to buy silver, it's still going to be $25.20. Because they can keep it down forever with those stupid paper short contracts. And they'll have just bazillions of slips of paper all over the place. Of silver. Supposed to be silver, but it's not silver. It's paper. It's ridiculous what they're doing, but they're doing it. Cryptocurrency today, it's an awful lot harder for them to manipulate cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency, today is creeping back up again. 649 billion right now as we speak of the industry, and with a Bitcoin price of 23,373. Looking at a Litecoin price of 109.91, and we're looking at Ethereum at $627. Dow Jones Industrial Average is going up today, down today, 135 points down. It's at 30,081. We're looking at crude oil today at 47.32. It's down 65 cents. And the MOVE index today is going along sideways still at 46.66. Bonds and rates. We're seeing the second day in a row here, bond yields falling. They've been falling about 3 basis points a day, you know, and we're looking at a U.S. 10-year at 0.92, and we're looking at the U.S. 30-year at 1.65. I could see them continuing. I can see them buying this yield curve control. I can see it coming, and I could see these rates going all the way down to 0, so that there's not even a point whatever, you know, like on the right now on the 1 month there's 0.7. I could see that 0.7 getting knocked off and the whole yield curve being 0. Okay, let's take a look here at something else. We're gonna take a look at the dollar index right now. It's at 90.58. Now, I'll tell you guys, it very well could in the next couple months, next 2 months, we very well could have a little bounce in this dollar index. Could go up to about 92, 93 even, you know, before it falls. I'm expecting the dollar index to take a big tumble later. But before that, you know, in the short term, I'm expecting that it could go up a little bit before it takes a big fall. If the dollar index goes below 70, all heck's going to break loose. Listen, thank you guys for listening to my show. Like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll catch you guys in the very next episode. And you guys have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.